looks to be okay. I'm going to give it 20 seconds or half a minute or so and get the nod from the team that we are online. We're sounding good, looking good. But from my end, it all looks okay.
Cool.
Yay! I was just briefing Natalie, everybody, on saying that everything always looks okay in the practice, but as soon as I press live, something goes wrong. So fingers crossed that's not going to be today. But thanks so much for joining me, Nat. It's great to have you on this week's business shout out. For anybody who's watching, over the last few weeks, I've been running some business shout outs on the Facebook page. What we usually do on a Friday as a team is we bring a business to the table that we've seen online on social doing an amazing job, and we give them a shout out. But now we kind of developed that idea during this current crisis because everybody is been affected, their business has changed slightly, and I wanted to give some extra exposure and support to small businesses. So I wanted to do the shout outs on Facebook in the form of an interview style. So they've been working really well. If anybody wants to get involved, fabulous. Thank you, Rachel. All good on the sound and yay. So if anybody does want to get involved moving forward, then just drop us an email, info@naturallysocial.co.uk, and we'll send you a really quick survey just to fill in some details, and we'll get you onto the schedule. And if you want to see who we've spoken to already, then please do have a look on our video page. We've spoke to Nikki from Frumi Gifts, from frumigifts.co.uk. And we've also spoke to Caitlin Backhouse about her business True to You photography. And this week we've got the beautiful Natalie Owsley with us, who runs a fitness. She's a fitness instructor, and obviously the fitness industry has been impacted quite significantly. But Nat, tell us a bit about your business in its normal day-to-day function.
So, firstly, thanks for having me on here. It's a really good opportunity. So my company is called At 30 Day Sculpt, and we're primarily a fitness company based in, most of the activities take place in Trowbridge in Wiltshire. And I also do some stuff in my home village of Shoscombe, which is in Somerset.
Cool.
So I run all types of fitness classes that you can imagine. So boxing, Pilates, HIIT training, kind of ab attack, body conditioning type stuff. And I also do a lot of online nutrition work with people. I run small group online nutritional support for people that are looking to kind of really get a hold on how they're eating, why they're eating the way that they eat, and to try and kind of really get them into a good mindset when it comes to food.
Absolutely.
And I've been an instructor for about 10 years, I think 11 years maybe, and I've been self-employed for about 6 years now.
Wow, okay. So there's always been an online element, because I've worked with Natalie and she's fantastic at what she does. But there's always been an online element to what you do, hasn't there?
Yeah.
Which is
all my nutrition stuff was always online.
Yeah. But you offer a lot of online support with your face-to-face classes, don't you?
Yeah.
And what I love also, and I always use Natalie's business as a case study for small businesses, because you don't have a website as such, do you? You run your website is basically your social media.
Yeah. So that's a what's the word? I want it that way because I want actually all my traffic to go through my socials, because that gets me some immediate face-to-face time with people and a way to interact with them that for loads of other businesses, a website is the right place for them, but actually for me, I need to be able to be in kind of immediate contact with people. And I find that if people are contacting me for a training session, or they've got a query or a question, they need to feel like they're speaking to somebody straight away, because we all know, that Monday morning feeling when you go to put your work trousers on and they're too tight and you go, oh my God, I really need to sort out my fitness and my diet. That's when you contact somebody, because if I don't get back to people when they've kind of got that feeling in their mind, then I kind of lose that.
Yeah.
So that's why all my traffic goes through my socials.
In a conscious decision, and I think it absolutely works amazing. And also I talk about, because when we speak about just using social media in replace of a website, and if that works for you, then amazing. And a lot of questions come up with, well, how do you take money? And I always use your shop section on your Facebook page as an amazing example about how you're actually delivering e-commerce and taking that money through Facebook. So do you want to just explain how you set that up and what you do?
Yeah, so there's a shop now button on there, which are really simple to set up. So all you set up is you set up a paypal.me link, which you can which your customers can pay through. The majority of people have a PayPal account, but even if you don't have a PayPal account, you can use your normal debit card through there. Yeah. And yes, PayPal do charge, but so do iZettle, so do banks, so do any way that you're going to take money online, you're going to be charged for.
Yeah.
But yes, so I lose maybe kind of 2-3%. But what I'm not doing is that I'm not spending my time in admin chasing payments, having to mark off payments, and actually I'm kind of happy to pay that if I don't have to spend that time.
Absolutely. And also it's actually quite valuable for the user. So for your customer, it's a seamless transaction, and they're able to see it, want it, buy it, book it. And they become used to buying from you in that way. So I think from both sides of the coin there, it works exceptionally well.
And it also encourages traffic to my page all the time.
Exactly, which is super key. So very smart and strategic there tactically. It encourages traffic to the Facebook page, which then keeps that audience engaged. And then the content that you put out is all about engaging, getting people to comment on your posts if they want to book something, if they have any questions at all. And again, that drives the algorithm based on the engagement.
Yeah, and it also, so what happens is I always say, here's the link to book. So that will just take them to a standard PayPal link. And then I always say, and please pop in the comments when you've paid. So then 10 people pop paid. Then, hopefully from those 10 people that have popped paid in, their maybe 10 friends see that they've commented, and possibly their 10 friends see that they might have commented. And so you just trying to build traffic all the time and interactions.
And then then you're capturing that interest to see what you do, and start building that funnel. So it's brilliant. So I just wanted to touch upon that, because this is pre coronavirus, COVID-19 restrictions. A lot of your business was designed around online and social, particularly for the development, the ops side of stuff. So that was always a great case study. So well done for that.
Thanks.
Just to quickly say to everybody, we're going to put Natalie's page and handles into the comments for you all to see and go and check her out. If you're in the Trowbridge area, you are looking for some fitness advice, support, community classes, do go and check Nat out. But of course, that's if you want to do stuff face to face. Now, of course, Natalie is able to reach out and connect with people across the county. So Nat, tell us, we just offline before we went live, we actually had a quick chat about the kind of speed of change for you, for your business. So kind of go through that again with us and tell me like when you started to see the impact, and then let's talk about how you've adapted.
So if we go back, if we go back 4 weeks, so if we say this is week 3 of lockdown, and that week before lockdown, there was definitely a real decline in physical participants to classes. And although I was already putting in place things like cleaning the mats between every session, making sure people were washing their hands, obviously it was such a worry to people that the numbers were just naturally declining.
Yeah.
So although people had booked all their classes, so actually income-wise, it was okay. It didn't actually make any difference. But I'm not somebody who particularly likes to have people who have paid and don't attend.
Yeah.
It just doesn't sit well with me. So then the Monday happened, but the Monday before lockdown, numbers were probably a third of what they normally are. So I would normally have a class of 30 and I had 10.
Wow.
And then the Wednesday came, and on the Wednesday I had an email from every village hall that I use saying the halls are shut, you can't use them. So then I kind of went into a huge like, oh my God, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
So then I spent Thursday and Friday kind of working out how I was going to get online, because tech is a real issue, and it's an issue for small companies like mine where I don't have the money to buy fancy live streaming cameras and sound equipment and lights, and there's not enough space in my home really to deliver stuff. Yeah. So I spoke to my local village hall, which I can walk to, it's literally at the end of my lane, just put the feelers out to them and offered to pay to use the hall at a reduced rate, because I knew that they'd need to pay their overheads. That's still, but there would be nobody else using it.
Yeah.
And offered to pay and offered to hire it when they said that I could. So yeah, borrowed some equipment from my husband's school, from the music department.
Amazing.
So they sorted me out with all the kind of audio interfacing and microphone, because there's nothing worse. Also, if you go online and you look at people's online content, they're streaming it through a phone.
Yeah.
Which that's kind of fine for short, like for kind of emergency posting.
Yeah.
Because there is enough tech in a phone, but actually you don't get the sound, you don't get the music. Yeah. So that was great. So they set me up, and then I just kind of kicked off on the Saturday morning.
Brilliant. So you're using a hall, so you're still delivering in an environment, in a environment, which is fantastic. And then what you're doing now is you're streaming your workouts basically onto your page. I'm just going to jump in there with a quick question from Christine, who says, well, she says, but what about, as a suggestion, fitness for the older generation? But actually your classes cover quite a wide range of ages, don't you? And you adjust your classes to suit.
Yeah, so my whole ethos behind my business is non-judgmental fitness, community fitness, because I always, as a participant, I would hate going into a studio and you'd have your front row of participants. They'd all have their space on the floor. They'd all have their cliquey little group of friends. And it intimidates the instructor, but it also makes everybody else feel that they're not welcome in that environment and they're not kind of part of it. Whereas I wanted everybody in my classes to feel that they should be there and the class was suitable for them. And that should be whether you are whether you're a size 8 and wearing a leotard, or you're a size 20 and you're kind of hiding behind your leggings and your t-shirts. Everybody in that room should feel like they should be there. And so my classes are suitable for any age, any fitness level, any shape, any size. And if people want, I'm really open to suggestions. So if people do want much more kind of geared specific training, like seated strength for older people, I'm really more than happy to have suggestions made.
I think that would be a really great idea, actually, because that comes on to, I was going to ask you about the differentiation between the content that you're creating at the moment, because I've seen a difference. And that might be a suggestion for some free value that you could create for, like you said, exercising for the elderly. So my grandma, for example, 93, in isolation for 12 weeks, maybe we can create something for her that gives her some exercises to do while she's sitting and stuff like that. That'd be amazing. So let's talk about then the difference of content, that your strategy now that you've taken. So you've got your marketing head on, you know that you need to be out there and building awareness, and you've actually said you've picked up more customers since you've adopted this new approach to content. You're also delivering content in a closed environment for people who are paying. So how have you separated that out? What was your thought around that?
So when I first went online on the first day, I did it completely free, open on my page. Everybody could see what it was about. Everybody could then decide whether they wanted to join the groups. Then for the people that had already paid, they were segregated into private Facebook groups, and all the classes are streamed via Facebook Live. I've tried to steer people away from booking single classes or booking by the week, because it's just too much admin. It's just, it takes too much time. I have tried to, so in terms of content, it's because there's always a slight time delay, because that's kind of almost unavoidable. It's very hard to do that very quick type of hit training. So I'm kind of saying, right, 10 seconds, you've got 10 seconds to stop. But they don't get that for a few seconds, and then they kind of have to restart. So I've kind of had to change things to be slightly longer, slightly more inclusive for people. So because I'm aware that I've got some really, really fit people in my groups, and people that aren't fit. But I have to deliver one exercise, so I have to kind of think about how could they make it harder, and how can they make it easier.
That's good. And also and you're also probably compensating for the lack of interaction. So in an environment you've got people with you in front of you, you can go around and monitor and step people up and watch their form and stuff. So I assume you're kind of then thinking, like you just said, well, how do I adapt this exercise to make sure that those who are so advanced in their fitness journey are getting the most out of it, and those who are new to their fitness journey are able to deliver it as well.
And you know, as well as you've done loads of fitness over the years, that it's easy to take, it's too easy to take a back seat when you're exercising and take the easy route, but sometimes it's too easy as well to do far too much. So it's kind of, how do you keep people, if I can't see them and I can't interact with them, how do I make sure that they're not just wandering off to make a cup of tea? And how do I make sure that they're also not doing ridiculous jumping squats that are gonna be injured? And that's quite a tricky one. But because I was aware that not everybody is that technically savvy, so I know lots of instructors are using Zoom, which I am trialing some classes on Zoom tomorrow for free, just because it'd be nice for everyone just to say hi to each other, that haven't seen each other a few weeks. But what I didn't want to do is I thought just by taking it online was enough, without saying to people, and also you need to download this app, and
then you click on this link, and then you need
to, and I just thought, you know what, it's just too, people are stressed anyway right now, aren't they? And they just want access to go to a platform they can use easily.
That's great. And I think, like you've just hit the nail on the head. You've reacted really, really quickly in the most efficient way in order to get your business up and running online that still supports your clients, but also marketing yourself. And as you go, you will keep adapting that. And like Zoom can now give you that element of everybody seeing each other, and you seeing them working out as well. Then that's the next phase. But I really enjoy the free workouts that you're doing on your Facebook page for everybody to join in as well. So if anybody wants to, then do go along to Nat's page. We've popped the link in already, and you can get some free workouts already for you to take part in. And there's loads of information there as well about accessing her kind of paid courses and more bespoke coaching and groups. But Rachel's asked us a question, just saying, like, what sort of advice are you giving to people around the diet and the nutrition side of things? Have you got any top tips for, like, if I'm working from home all the time, which, normally when I'm in the office, I barely eat because I'm so busy. And now I'm finding, the kitchen's just over there.
So I think definitely within that first week, everybody was so kind of like overwhelmed by everything that was going on, that people were either just ransacking the kitchen or they were just drinking a bottle of wine every night. But hopefully now, as time's gone on a little bit, we are a little bit more settled. And just try and think about, it is all about creating a routine for yourself that works. So if you don't want to eat breakfast, if you're not a breakfast person, trying to force yourself to eat breakfast it's not going to work for you. So have a think about what works best for your day. You need 3 meals a day, but what you don't need are lots of snacks in between, and really your meals should fill you up enough to get you to your next meal. And it doesn't really matter if your meals are massive, as long as you're not eating then the snacks in between.
Yeah.
So drink plenty of, even if you don't like water, drink plenty of juice, stay hydrated, because that will stop you snacking.
Yeah.
And also make sure your meals are substantial enough so you're not. And actually, if you really want a snack, if you wait for 15 minutes, you'll find that you won't want it anymore.
Yeah. Particularly, like you said, if you are eating substantially enough to not be hungry, because that snack is actually the habit and the time filling and the distraction in your mind to go and get something, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about being really mindful and recognizing when you're hungry as opposed to when you're just bored, or it's 3 o'clock, so you always have a biscuit with your cup of tea, or and things like, you know, lots of mums, dads will eat their children's food after they finished. Well, actually, if your kids aren't eating what you put on their plate, don't give them as much.
Yeah.
And it will stop you eating the leftovers, things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Love
it's about being really present and mindful about and being honest with yourself.
Yeah, and like you said, not just automatically on default, just going and wandering out to the fridge, you know, being mindful. Yeah, love that. Amazing. Well, I could talk to you all day and pick your brains and ask you loads of stuff, but it is coming up to 5:02, so we have kept you long enough. But thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. I've loved it.
Good. You are doing a fantastic job, and well done for everything that you're doing to support your customers. As a small business owner, for adapting to the climate and making it relevant and valuable to make sure that you're still delivering and running your business. So
yeah,
really proud. Well done.
Thank you. I just want to let your clients know that I had my biggest organic, actually it was organic, most of it was organic. I had one £10 paid for promotion in the whole of March, I think, but I organically hit something like 18,000 people, which that has been the biggest that I've ever had. And that was just from kind of trying to work out, you know, what are people struggling with, what do they need help on, what do they need advice with, how can I best support them.
Amazing.
So I was kind of like, oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah, that is amazing. That is, but this is why, I've always said this, why I have loved working with you, seeing what you do, because that's absolutely it. You naturally picked up on the essence of good content. You know, when you put your customer at the forefront of what you create and what they need and what they will value and what will benefit them, your engagement will soar. It isn't about sell and create something new out of the box, and, you know, sit back, and particularly in times of crisis. And I did a Facebook Live in the Social Media Academy, which we'll put a link to as well in the comments, about how to communicate in a crisis. And I was saying there, you know, it's about being honest, open, transparent, timely, but being authentic and giving something that your audience needs. And from a tactical perspective, the video creation anyway will do wonders for your organic reach. So we were actually going to put out an ebook, actually either later today or over the weekend, about video creation for social media. So I'll pop a link out for everybody. But you've hit the nail on the head there.
It's totally worth remembering that your clients come to you because of you. There are probably, I don't know, 3,000 fitness instructors in West Wiltshire, but actually my clients come to me and your clients come to you because they like you. So actually, if you're speaking about things that are important to you, that are worrying you, that are stressing you out, they connect with you already because they're probably along the same kind of wavelength that you are. So if you can discuss it and be open and honest about stuff, they can really kind of take some...
resonate. Exactly. They'll resonate with you. And that's exactly what it's all about. People by people.
Yeah.
You've been an angel, and I think that has been packed full of tips, both from the fitness side, but which I hadn't planned for, all about the social media and marketing side. I think loads of lessons to be learnt there. So Nat, you've been a pleasure to speak to. Thank you so much, and good luck with everything going forward.
Thank you, and to you guys.
In touch, and have an amazing bank holiday weekend.
Thank you, and you. Bye.
Take care. Thanks, Nat.
Bye.
Bye.